The first time I watched the video, I laughed. It was a short, involuntary sound, something my body did before my mind caught up. Mrs. Harlan didn't laugh back. "That's you, Jeffrey," she said. We were standing in her kitchen, lemon cleaner, reheated soup, the low hum of the refrigerator. Her phone trembled faintly in her hands. On the screen, a man stepped into the cone of her porch light. The image wasn't clear enough to show his face, but the jacket was mine. Navy, frayed cuff, and the posture too. The slight forward lean, as if he expected resistance, the way his right shoulder lifted before he reached. Me, as my neighbors knew me. Miss Harlan paused the video just before the man moved out of frame toward the narrow strip between her house and mine. "I didn't want to call the police," she said. "I wanted to ask you first." From the dining room, I heard her husband shift in his chair. He stayed where he was, listening. "I didn't do this," I said. The words felt insufficient, like a receipt for something I hadn't bought. Her eyes flicked to my hands, checking for movement. Finding none seemed to unsettle her. "I know this is upsetting," she said carefully, "but you can see why." I cut her off. "It wasn't me," I said again. She pressed play. The man looked directly up at the doorbell camera, like he knew where it was. Then he leaned toward the potted fern by the door and reached underneath. "That's where you keep the spare," I said before I could even stop myself. Miss Harlan's mouth tightened. The door opened. The man went inside. She didn't let the clip continue. "You should call the police," I said, "because I needed this to become procedural, something that could be corrected." "We did," she said. "They'll come and talk to you." Talk to you. I walked home between our identical lawns, aware of curtains shifting. In my driveway, I stopped and looked at my own doorbell camera installed last summer after a package theft. At the time, it felt responsible, civic, proof that I belonged. Inside, I opened the camera app and scrubbed the time she'd shown me. At 2:17 a.m., my porch was empty. No motion alert, no outage. The system's status read healthy. My phone's sleep tracker said I'd been in bed by 11. A brief restlessness around 2, rolling over, nothing else. It didn't prove anything, but it didn't match the footage of me entering someone else's house. I called my sister. "I didn't do it," I said before she could speak. "I know," she said immediately. "Okay, well, cameras glitch, files get mixed up, people reuse passwords. Who would do that?" I asked. She hesitated. "Didn't you have that parking thing with the barkers?" It had been a thing. Their son parked across my sidewalk. I asked once. I posted once in the neighborhood group. Miss Barker replied, "Some people need to relax." "Sure, but I don't know that I made enemies," I said. "No, you don't have to," my sister said. That evening, the neighborhood shifted. Not dramatically, but just enough for me to notice. Miss Chen paused mid-walk when she saw me, smiled too brightly, and crossed the street. Someone posted in the Pine Ridge Court Facebook group, "Reminder to keep doors locked and cameras active. Please avoid speculation." No one tagged me, no one commented. The post sat there, accumulating quiet agreement. At 7:40, a police officer came to my door. One man, calm, holding a tablet. "The footage is fairly clear," he said after I showed him my empty porch clip. "Cameras miss things sometimes." "I didn't leave my house," I said. "Any chance you sleepwalk?" he said. "No." "Substances?" "No." "Anyone else have access to your account?" "I don't think so," I said. He nodded, tapping the tablet. "We may need the clothes you wore last night." Across the street, Miss Harlan's porch light clicked on. I saw her silhouette in the window, still observant. "I didn't do this," I said. He nodded, tapping the tablet. I didn't think so." It's like he had already filed my answer away. After he left, my phone buzzed with a message request. "Unknown. We have the video." That's all it said. No explanation, no threat. Just a statement of ownership. I opened the camera app again and scrolled carefully this time. At 2:04 a.m., the feed flickered. Half a second of darkness. The timestamp jumped forward just a little. Online explanations were easy to find. Wi-Fi interference, firmware hiccups, all normal. Normal didn't help. At 11:30, I went back to the Harlan's house. Miss Harlan opened the door with the chain on. "I want to see the full clip," I said. "The officer told us not to share it with you," she said. "I'm asking you as a neighbor." Her husband appeared behind her. "Our neighbor," he said, the word suggested slightly, redefined. Behind him, near the light switch, I noticed a new ADT sticker, fresh, glossy. "I didn't do it," I said. "I hope that's true," she replied, already closing the door. Walking home, porch lights blinked on one by one, not alarmed, but attentive. Inside my house, I pulled an old box from the closet, papers, manuals. At the bottom, my spare key, taped to an index card from when I moved in. Spare? Hide? I checked beneath my own potted plant. There was a key there. Brass, green plastic cap, not mine. I brought it inside and set it on the table. I didn't touch it again for a long time. I searched the neighborhood group for a spare key. Any post about it, any discussion. Dozens of posts appeared, casual advice, familiar jokes, and one comment from May, posted by Miss Harlan. "We keep ours under the fern, but don't tell anyone, LOL." The house was very quiet. No more messages came. That was worse. My sister called back later. "You need to give that key to the police," she said. "Don't post, don't argue." "I found it under my plant," I said. "That doesn't mean anything bad," she said. It means whatever they need it to," I said. After we hung up, I stood in my hallway and imagined the blind strip between the houses, out of range of both cameras. Someone could walk through there unseen. Someone could place a key. Someone could wear my jacket or one like it and stand like me for 20 seconds. It didn't require planning, just access and familiarity. A neighborhood that already knows where to put its fear. Near midnight, I stood at my front porch and looked at my camera. The blue light blinked. I opened the door and stepped onto the porch. From the street, I could feel the tension without seeing it. Curtains, windows, the quiet industry of watching. I raised the key toward the camera. From this angle, from this exact angle, it looked identical to the footage I had been shown. Me, at night, holding a key. I understood then how little context survived recording. I lowered my hand and stepped back inside. Across Pine Ridge Court, porch lights stayed on, not in welcome, but in vigilance. I locked my door, slowly and deliberately, not because I feared someone would come in, but because I finally understood what had already happened. In this neighborhood, safety wasn't a feeling. It was a story that people agreed to tell. And now, whenever they checked their cameras, they would see me exactly where they expected me to be.